Hey, what's up? How is everyone doing today? So I'm still a little tired or out of it. I don't know. I'm kind of just my energy is it's like chill vibes. So it's not like hyper vibes. Like sometimes I can be. I can be very, very a lot of energy. But today it's kind of just more chill, relaxed vibes today. But besides that, I wanted to get on here and just really talk about different versions of ourselves. So, I'm always talking about becoming the best version of myself, always trying to really encourage people to do better with themselves, with their life, and whatnot. So, I wanted to kind of go more deeper of, what I mean by that. So, if we look at ourselves and our lives and how we've just lived different lives, different versions. So, if you look back to high school and look at that version of yourself, you may not be that same person you were in high school that you are today. So, I look back at myself and look at my high school version of myself. I was very shy, but I was more open when I was around people that I was comfortable with. But I was always super quiet. I never raised my hand in class. I was curious to a certain extent, but I never utilized my voice. So even with music and singing, I did that in certain areas around certain people. But in school, it was I had that insecurity or had that fear, right? And so there are certain things that I do now that I didn't do in high school. So I've evolved since then, right? And so it's not just high school, but you look at college, you look at your work life, your home life. Some people have those really close knit friends, and some people have those associates that they're really cool with them, but they're not maybe as close. So we have these different versions of ourselves in different areas. So, and I also, I talk about how some of us we mask certain things about ourselves or about versions of ourselves that we don't really want to share to certain people, which can be a very healthy thing. And so going back to the whole just looking at these different versions for high school, college, work, home, whatever it may be, right? You got to understand that we're always changing. We're always, no matter what, even if we don't realize it, we're always changing in some way. So it's look at the moon phases, right? They're always changing. The moon, the stars, the energy. So this goes back to astrology and numerology. We're always moving. The universe is always moving. We're always, if you want to look at it at a scientific way, right? We're always moving. So we're always changing. I mean, look at society, look at, history, look at it all. But to make it a little bit more simple, we look at ourselves. So I look at myself from high school, from when I was a kid, and, year after year, how things change. So they call it the new year, right? Okay, what am I going to change this year? What I'm going to work on this year? A lot of the big thing is weight loss, right? Becoming healthier or whatnot. So even a year ago, that's still me, right? That's still who I am in a way. But I've changed since then. So I've evolved, I've grown, I've become this new version of myself, right? Because today I'm this new version. Every day is a new day, right? So I've become this new version of myself. I've gained new insight, new lessons, new ways of doing things because I've done those things already, or in a certain way. I've done a lot of, old things that may not have worked for me. And so now I'm releasing those old things, letting them go, and not holding on to them anymore to where I can embrace the new, right? So I'm looking at my notes because I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of downloads, I like to call them, that come to me that I like to express and talk to people about, because I feel like it's very important, right? I feel like I'm a teacher in a way to where I can help people just grow and understand things in a different perspective. And so, and that's what it really comes down to, is our perspective. So there's people that have maybe known of me for years. So go back to my high school friends, right? These people know a certain version of me. They don't know the version I am today. You know, there's they follow me on Instagram, Facebook, whatnot, right? So they may see me physically changing. They may see me mentally changing in a way, but they haven't been around me in person to know like what exactly I'm about today. So they know what they perceive. They still have like this perception of me, and this is just my assumption, but they can still have this perception of me from high school, right? But life's changed since high school. Like, I'm not that same little kid, you know, weirdo. I mean, I am, but at the same time, I don't always show that part of me. Now, when I get around them, because I know when I've gotten around them, like in the past years, that part of me's come out, because they love that part of me. They're comfortable with it. They accept that part of me. Now, if I meet somebody new, I may not show that weird side of me. So it's all your perception, right? There's people that hold a perception of you from your past, and it's really hard for them to let it go because they may not have seen you in years, right? And so our perception can be everything. So me, I perceive in a lot of different ways, and that's like a curse and a blessing. So like I love everybody, and sometimes there's certain perceptions I see of people that I'm not, it's not that I don't like them or just or judging them or anything like that, right? It's just my perception of the certain things they do, it doesn't fit with what I do. And so I don't really want to be around those people as much. And so for me, like, I've had to be like, okay, I really don't want to be like these people or just do the things they do. So I'm going to distance myself, and I may not tell them, I usually don't, but I'll distance myself from those people and just gravitate, you know, back to, you know, where I know that I'm gravitating towards. Maybe not my comfort zone, but the fact that I want to do these certain things and they may not be interested in those things. So we all have a goal in our life. We all have a journey that we're on, and everybody's journey is different, right? So there's people that come and go in your life. There's people from your past that you don't talk to anymore. There's people that you forget about and move on, like, you know. And so we're always evolving. We're always changing. We can choose to change, and we can, you know, choose to, you know, just sit and dwell in our minds. That's why our minds are so powerful. So we may be focused in our minds that we may still be in like this victim mentality, or we may like something traumatic that we've experienced, right? We may in our minds still be going through that. But in reality, in like the physical world, the physical realm, right? It's changing. It's always changing no matter what. Yet we're still stuck in our minds, focused on the past and what happened to us, or what we went through, or what we experienced, right? And so some people will choose to dwell in that mindset, and some people will choose to be like, okay, I don't want to dwell in this past. Yes, this thing happened to me. Yes, I went through this tragedy, this struggle, whatnot, but I can't change that anymore. The only thing I can change is myself and how I look at it. And so that's where it comes into like that shadow work, right? That digging deep within yourself and really understanding your fears and what you're afraid of and your past traumas that you've been through, and just understanding them better to be able to release them and let go and be lighter. Just be lighter and feel better, right? And so that's what I've worked on for myself a lot in the last year. I've incorporated that meditation, that therapy, working out, certain things that help me physically change, but also mentally, spiritually, emotionally, all these different changes. So we're always changing. We're always changing in some way or form, no matter what. You know, even if you don't believe you're changing, you're changing. Things are changing. Everything is changing. But it's also really good to look at those versions, right? Going back to the versions of ourselves from different times and different moments in our life. Like right now, today is the only moment that really exists. People that are watching this video, that's right now is your moment, right? You exist right now. And so, like for me, like I've been just really contemplating on all these little things, big things, you know, and just connecting the dots in a way to like understand myself better and how my brain works, how my communication works, how I can explain things better. Because sometimes I can go so deep within that it like confuses everybody else. And I'm like, oh, they don't get what I'm saying. So I do my best to explain things as simple as I can, but sometimes I can get on like a little rampage like I probably am right now. But anyways, change is necessary, right? And that's why I like to empower people, inspire people to just become a better version of themselves. Like the person you are right now exists, but you got to focus on the person you may want to be. You know, a better version. And that doesn't mean you have to stop everything you're doing and cut everybody off, because I've done that, right? Cut everybody off and just like, okay, like I'm gonna go figure myself out. No, like you can make it as simple as possible. Like just look at one thing you want to change in your life. Like if it's an addiction issue. Like I used to believe I had like this like really bad addiction issue with drugs and alcohol. And I had to look at that. I was like, okay, it's not the drugs and alcohol that's the issue, right? It's me, myself, and I that's the issue. And so I have to figure out what that issue is. And so I looked at my environment. I looked at the people I was hanging around. I looked at my past, you know, my family life, how I grew up. I looked at certain things and certain beliefs as well. You know, I was told a lot of times that, oh, you have an issue, you have an addiction issue. And sometimes I took on those people's beliefs. And so I had to be like, okay, well, what if I just change my belief? What if I don't have an issue? What if I just, you know, every once in a while I like to have a drink, or I like to, you know, smoke some weed, you know? Well, is that an issue? No, I don't think that's an issue. And so that's what I did. You know, I even went sober for a very long time to like really understand, clear my head, clear my mind, which helps. Some people won't do that. There's something that works for somebody, right? So we get stuck in this belief that could come from somebody else, right? And it's not really our belief. And so that's where I've really just dug deep within myself to change my beliefs, to, you know, really question my beliefs, question others, you know, why I have this belief, where did it come from, all these things. So it's a very deep kind of thing that you have to do, but it's also healthy. It's really good. And I've done it for myself, and I've experienced a drastic change over the year, like with my reality, with my thinking, you know, with how I communicate, because for so long I was so depressed and I kept getting stuck in this like little rut. Like why am I so unhappy? Why am I crying my eyes out every night? Why am I, you know, like binge eating or going out and drinking when I don't even really want to do that? And so I really just had to like really dig deep within myself and really just understand, you know, why I had these tendencies or traits, you know, because that's what it also goes back to. And so I don't want to make this video too long, but I just wanted to talk, you know, about the versions of ourselves, you know, the changes that we're always making no matter what, even if we don't realize it. The fact that, you know, just going within and understanding ourselves better through, you know, different forms, having that perception of our reality and being just more aware of ourselves. That's really the point I'm trying to make, is like we can love people no matter what. If they've hurt us, if they haven't hurt us, but they may not be meant to be in our lives forever, right? That's the whole point of death, right? and being born. You know, there's new people coming to our lives every day. Then there's people that are leaving our lives every day. So just take a look at your life. You know, look at your surroundings. Look at the people you're hanging around. Look at your work life, home life, all these different aspects of your life, and just really ask yourself, is this where I want to see myself in the next year, next 2 years, next 5 years, right? Or is there something that I want to change in my life? And even if you are content and happy with your life right now, that's beautiful, that's amazing. But we're still evolving. We're still changing. What can we do better? You know, right now I am so happy. I'm so grateful for my life. There's moments that I have still, of course, but I still have goals that I want to achieve. There's still certain things that I want to do in my life. I want to travel. I want to become a billionaire. I want to do a lot, okay? But the fact is that I'm really just focusing on this moment as well too. What works for me in this moment, what hasn't worked for me in the past, and how I can continue to create a better future for myself and, you know, the people that will come into my life, whoever that may be. So yeah, so that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, awesome, great. Like it or not, it's all good. I just wanted to share this message. So have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you.